Imagine living in an area where on a daily basis you have to contend with armed robbers and land guards. Well, this is what residents of Vichile in the Kon Katamanto area have to deal with on a daily basis. Every week, reports of such incidents are made known to the police. But how are these issues being dealt with, and who is in charge to ensure these cases are reduced? On today's edition of the Citi Newsroom, we'll be bringing you harrowing stories of persons who've been affected by these developments.
Also coming up, President Akufo-Addo described the death of the late Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wogon as Emmanuel Jaku as a big blow to the MPP. Also, former President John Dramani Mahama and members of Parliament expressed shock at the news of his death. Still coming up on the Citi Newsroom, fisher folk in Fantiman in the Central Region clash over distribution of premixed fuel.
On a daily basis has become part of living here in this area. Just yesterday, a group of men were attacked by land guards over this piece of land behind me. One of the persons that was attacked is a gentleman who will join me to tell me about his story. Welcome to the Citi Newsroom.
Thank you.
What is your name?
My name is Comforted Abladi.
I can see some wounds around your head and your shoulder. Is this from the attack from the land guards yesterday?
Yes, please.
What happened?
That was yesterday in the morning around 8 o'clock. We had a machine working on this Alvaro site. That belongs to my auntie. So we came here to see what was going on because this very land, there's a land dispute on it. So the matter is in court. So we came here and we saw the operator working on the land and we told him that there's a problem here, so you shouldn't work, so you should go. He said there's one man who instructed him to work here. The man has a school right behind me. And then the man came here to tell us that he instructed him to work. And we told him that no, this place, there's a land dispute here, so they can't work here, so they should take the machine off and then they should go. They obeyed us and then they left. Within some few minutes, about 30 minutes later, we were in the house and we heard the machine again. So we came back and we saw the machine working on the site again. And we asked the operator, why is it that he has come back again? He said one man named Ahmed Tete Ransford asked him to come and work here. We told him to go, but he refused. Ahmed also came with an armed man, and then they attack us on the site that we should leave here so that they could have their way to work on the site.
This Hamed, do you know him?
Yes, please.
Who is he?
He's one retired soldier that lives around this vicinity.
Okay. So we understand that there were also some military men that came with him, or what was the story with that?
Yeah, he came with an armed man. I don't know if they were military men but they came here armed. And they were firing at us. So some of my brothers had to escape. They ran, and then I and two others, they got hold of us, and then they used their gun that they were holding on them. They used it to hit my left eye and then my shoulders, as you can see here.
So these wounds are as a result of injuries from a gun butt?
Yes, please.
So what happened next? Did you go to the police, or did you try to confront them in exchange?
No, we didn't confront anything, but we went to the police, and because of the way I was bleeding all over, the police gave us a police report that we should take it to a medical center, which at a Michelle camp, that is a 5-minute drive from here. We went there, and then they treated us, and then we came back to the police station to make our statement.
Right. Is this the first time you're being attacked by land guards in this area?
No, please. It has been happening for various times. Some even happened just recently, close to our station here in Bechley. There's a prayer camp there. We were at church and they came attacking us, and then some areas around our places.
Usually, when you report these incidents to the police, what's the response rate?
We've not gotten any response yet. We have a lot of these cases pending at the police station.
Right. How long have you lived there?
I've lived there over 31 years.
And all these these cases are recorded, or it just started recently?
Okay, it started just recently, about 5 years ago.
And you started recording these incidents. Well, we wish you well.
Thank you.
So that's a resident of Bechley here in Katamanso. The area we are talking about is about 5 minutes drive from the Michelle camp. Now, we are being told that for years this issue has been running, but it hasn't been solved by security officers. We'll be speaking to more residents here to also pick their thoughts, especially those who have also been attacked by these land guards. So I have another resident who was also attacked by these land guards yesterday. He's also gotten a number of wounds from the beatings from these persons yesterday. What is your name?
Tete Frederick.
What happened yesterday?
Yesterday I was home and my brother called me that some land guards and things are using payloader to load a gravel here, and then we came. So we saw a certain guy here calling Ahmed, struggling with my uncle, and then later on they dismissed. After he went, he made the call. We were here before we see the land guards boys are here beating us.
These land guards, are they from this area?
No, from Ashama.
You understand they are from Ashama?
Yeah.
So what happened? What happened to you?
They just meet us, slapping us, beating us, using weapons on us.
So in the process, underneath your eye was cut, and also
my knee and my leg.
Over the minute joke be. Akenye abajinye bi land gas ba yinye shipon ne o miniba.
Fana eja no kwala ke langard bi ba jiwo. Eja ke shipon wanti no ni machine be tuni ye shipon no. No ba stop machine ake ka tuni. Oni man ko actually Ahmed langard ni wo fen wole le gbechile bi na ke langard ni chumo echun. Sheke soja fun you retire. The back machine atuni shimoko nye stop le ake machine ka tuni. Mo kala ke machine wo hang gbe ni machine ba tuni ye bi ene. Wo se mi eshi wo mase. Ye shi wo mase ne ete. Sa mi ke obana tungbe je no go bi o tungbe den che wo ten.
No miniba.
No ne fe na kan fambi ni wo ten na mejufu. Wo na me bi no wa na me tutua wo. No me ke chua tun ke wo ten. No se ko na ke mo ko mi ene yin tun bullet etan wo ke clock ni etwa tun egbe clock ni etwa tun egbe na ke bullet etan wo tun ese chu ene ke shinku ese bi ene ni fa bi ene choni ji menyu ke tu na bu sile ke tu na bu sila ma huni wana ka me plade nche
akeda na ba yonye bi ke je me bi ababo nye 5 years to lo mini
almost 2017.
So residents here do not only deal with land guards, but they have to deal with armed robbers. If you look behind me, this area on a number of occasions have been attacked by armed robbers. They do not only take things from them, but also inflict various degrees of wounds on them. We'll be speaking to some victims who have suffered at the hands of these armed robbers here at Bechley in the Pong Katamanso area. So Mr. George Sa is one of many residents who have been attacked by armed robbers here in this area. He's been living here for 3 years, but this year the armed robbers came to his house and cleared the place, as it is said. We'll speak to Mr. Sa, who shares his experience with us. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to Citi Newsroom.
Thank you.
What happened on that fateful day?
That fateful day, we have to go to church. And then we left around 9 a.m. When we came back, before we saw that armed robbers has entered our a room and made away many things.
What were some of the things they took?
They took my flat TV, 40 inches, and then 14 half pieces of my wife's clothes. And then money, which I cannot correct now because I'm having a house at Ashama Newtown. So that fateful day, I told my daughter to correct the money from the tenants. She brought the money early morning around 6:30. And when she brought the money, I told her to go and buy me gas. So I gave her 100 Ghana out of that money. And I gave the rest to my wife to hold it so that when we come back from church, then I know what I will do with the rest of the money. When we came, I saw that they have taken all the money away, including what I have said, the TV and the clothes, all away. So instantly, we did not report the matter to the police because some has happened to me around 1978 at Committee 8 Tema. We went to the police to report, and nothing was done to help us get our things. So this very one, I didn't want to
go and report because you had a feeling it won't be dealt with anyway.
Do anything better for me. So about a week after, then some woman came to me around 8 p.m. to tell us that a CID has come to their area and has reported that they have caught some armed robbers, which they are in their possession at the
MF's police station.
So, because it was in the night, we couldn't go there in the night. But in the following day, we reported to the police to see the type of things they have corrected there. We talked to the CID, but the CID did not let us see the items. We pleaded with him that at least once our things has been stolen and we have come here, we should at least see the things so that if it is not even our own, we will just leave it and go. But they didn't give her the chance to look at the things. So we left the place.
So as of now, you've still not gotten your things back?
I've not gotten the things back.
So how do you stay here? Because we are told every now and then there are such incidents in this area. How do you manage this security lab?
Okay, because of that, we have formed a military patrol who are helping us. But they come in the night. So the one which happened on me is in the afternoon. So they cannot do anything about it.
So these robbers, they come at any time of the day, especially now because of the patrol, they come in the mornings and afternoons.
Yes, especially on Sundays, this place becomes very quiet because almost everybody goes to church. So they used to rob us in the daytime.
So since you moved to this place, that's 3 years. This has been happening, or it just started this year or last year?
Oh, since I came, it has happened to almost all the houses around me here.
Every house has been robbed?
This very house opposite us. Even the man has passed away about 3-4 days ago. They went to him, they tied him up, they took things away. And the very house, which is also opposite us there, was also robbed. But I didn't know the exact things that they took away. So it has been happening. Some friends around this area, down there, because of the robbers, almost everybody in this house has left. Okay. Everybody has left.
So people are living in fear, and most people are leaving the area because of what is happening. But you are staying. What is keeping you strong, dealing with this?
Because this house is my own, so I don't know where I should go again. I have to stay here.
What would you say to the police and security agencies on this issue to deal with it?
We would like them to patrol and look at what is happening and help us. But I don't know what is happening. Either they come or not, we don't see them. But for the military patrols, as we have formed, they used to come around in the evenings, which I see them myself. At times they come and then park in front of my house, call me, chat with me, ask me what is wrong with me, my difficulties and things. So I explain to them, then they leave.
Thank you very much. We know they are watching and they'll deal with this issue. Thank you very much. We wish you the best. This community used to be, or it's becoming, a vibrant one. But because of these high or increasing numbers of armed robbery as well as land guards, most residents are now leaving the area, abandoning it for fear of their lives. So let me speak to another resident who was also attacked by armed robbers in the area. Hello, welcome to Citi Newsroom.
Thank you very much.
What's your name?
Catherine.
Okay. What happened on that day?
On that fateful day, it was Saturday. I think the day after Ebony's death, yeah. And around 1 a.m., I was pregnant by then, so I'd used the washroom. When I came back, I saw someone peeping through our windows. So I quickly wake my husband up, and then he got up. And we saw a guy, he was dressed in camouflage, and behind our window, trying to look inside. Obviously, because of the lights outside, he wouldn't see inside, but we could see him. So we all shouted Ario in the local language. And then he couldn't mind, he was just relaxed. And as he was moving, he gave a long chuckle at us. So my husband didn't understand. We're like, for thieves, normally when you blow the alarm, he runs away. But for this one, no, he was too comfortable and relaxed. So we went, that day we slept in the guest room, not in our bedroom. So we went to the living room. When we got there, my husband wanted to open the door to see who he was, thinking it was just a person. So we were going to give more alarm scream for people to come around or probably attack him. So when we got to the living room, the door, this security door, it has some small lanes. And he wanted to look through, but he changed his mind and checked through the window. So when he checked through the window, and then he looked at me and said, Kathy, they are robbers. And they had packed blocks in front of the house. Everyone had guns. Those who were behind were about 5. And at the time, our wall was shut. So one ran from the outside and entered the house. And they started giving the warning shots. So helplessly, we didn't know what to do. For me, I screamed. So loud because I was scared. And they started breaking the door with the blocks. So they were doing it. Because it's a security door, it's very hard. And we ran to the guest room and locked it. We went to the washroom of the guest room and we locked it. And in less than 3 minutes, they entered, pulling their guns. Yeah, they did. And they were screaming, where you there? Where you there? Can we go kill you? Can we go kill you? So they entered. So when they went to our bedroom, we were not there. They came to the guest room, we had locked it. And they brought more blocks to break it. We were not there too. Then they realized there was the bathroom door. Just time they were angry, they broke the door, and they removed the door from the wall and put it aside. There we were behind my husband. And as soon as they entered, they pushed him down. They hit his neck, pushed him down, tied him, and they started slapping me, hitting me, beating me before they finally tied me. And they said, okay, so they will rape me because I screamed. So they were heckling me, some were pulling my
And you were pregnant at the time? How many?
Pregnant. My belly was really full. It was big. They could see that I was pregnant. And so my husband begged that she's my wife. She's pregnant. Take everything that she wants. And then they lifted me. They held my dress and they lifted me up. Where the money day? Where the money day? The first thing they did do was to check our recent calls on the phone. God being so, we hadn't called anyone by then. And so they took the phones, took our pens, and they asked that, you get mobile money? Yes. What is the pin? We gave to them, they checked and it was correct. And so they took me around. They said, bring the woman. There were 5 that entered. One was outside. Whilst this was ongoing, the one outside was just shooting in the air. So they spread themselves in the house, in the building, and I was being taken around by one. So I took them to our bedroom, to the sitting room, and wherever they think they could get money or anything valuable that they wanted. Everyone had a backpack, and they were masked. They had same blue mask. They were wearing black, and black, red, all masks. You could only see their eyes and their mouth, and you could smell substance from them. Look, their eyes were so red, and the way they were behaving like animals, hovering. So what they wanted was money. So we took them to the bedroom. Then for the wardrobe, we had 2 wardrobes. They brought everything out of the wardrobe. Anything that they think you have money in, all the bags, they brought everything out, ransacked the place, took everything they could. But the interesting thing is that they had more time. That's idea.
This started around what time?
They entered at about 1:15. Okay. That's when they entered. Yeah, because I checked my phone just before I went to the washroom. Yeah, and so after everything, they brought me back to the living room, and then he pushed me on my belly to the floor. And he said he wants to rape me. He wants to sleep with me. And I was telling them I'm pregnant. And he started slapping me. Even when they were talking to me, I was speaking the normal English. They were beating me. That make you talk like we. Make you talk like we. What do you mean? And then they asked the laptop, that this. They took everything they could, including the wedding rings, money, wallet, and when they had a watch, the leader had a watch, so he was monitoring. So every time he would look at the watch, and then he would say, make you hurry up, time the run. And then he lifted me, and he looked into my eyes just like this, and he held my top. And he said, you see me, they shout, Eri. You see, say your life didn't mind. I'll go kill you. He put the pistol. He actually pulled it, but I don't know whether...
That's the leader.
That was the leader. He put the pistol to my father. He pulled it, but nothing came out. Or I don't know whether there was no bullet in it. And then he told the other one, go shoot the man. You to kill him. You fool. You see, as they scream, Eri. And then as we were walking, I told the guy, he looked a bit... He had some pity on me because I was very fragile. And I told him, we're a young couple, we don't have anything. You could see the house, there's nothing in the house. All we have is what they've taken. So he said, I'll kill you, make you go. So we got there, and then he tied me to, again, as we were moving, my hands and my legs were tied. So all he did was he tightened the
rope here.
The rope. For us, we were fortunate they didn't use sellotape. They used long sponge rope and then a belt. It was more of cotton. Yeah, leather, yeah. So they tied me to the floor. And the door that they had broken, they put it behind the building and put blocks there. And they left. They switched on all the lights in the house. The living room door was put. And then they left. So few minutes, we had another house. Those that were not security door, they just break once, and they enter. We had people screaming. Dogs in the area were barking. People who had their car alarms had put it on, were making noise, and the motorbikes were moving up and down like that. And my neighbor called the police. When they heard me scream, he thought I was alone. So he came out, just in his boxer shorts. And the wife asked him to sleep. He said no. So when he got there, he saw the person. Fortunately, he came out of the room like this, and the person was facing the other. So he saw the back with the gun, and he ran inside. He started calling the police and all that. Nobody came to our rescue. And so after a few minutes, when we were able to untie ourselves, it was about 2:15. And then we went to our bedroom to check. In fact, they asked for the car keys. I thought they were taking the car. They couldn't take it. And I saw beneath my Bible and books, my tablet was there. And I had a SIM card in it, and just one CD credit on it. So quickly, I had the police emergency number and I called.
No, it was never picked up.
Oh, it was. A lady picked it up, and I was speaking very undertone because they were still in the neighborhood with their motorbikes. And I was like, oh, this is my name. I'm calling from Hallelujah. We've just been attacked by robbers and we need help. Okay, Catherine, did they come with guns? Yes, how many? Like, they came with 10 guns, 5 AK-47, 5 pieces. Hey, you keep yourself safe, okay? We'll get there right now. We are still waiting for them.
They never turned up.
No, they never turned up. Nobody showed up. So maybe today they will come.
So what after that? You waited for a while for them to obviously come, but they never did. Did you go to the police station after that?
I couldn't have gone to the police the night because they left that at the time that we didn't hear of the sound of the robbers. It was about 3 a.m. So in the morning, we went to the police station to make a complaint that we were attacked. And the policeman it didn't sound like anything frightening. And I was like, this is not thievery. It's not like a thief had come to steal something. These are robbers. They came with guns. And he took a piece of paper. And 2 people came here in the morning. They wrote their statement. And he added it too. So people, do you want to go to the hospital? We were like, yes. Okay. And then, so as we're asking at the things they took, usually when these things happen, you can only identify the things that are very visible. Yeah. So we told them what they are taking. I'm like, they took my mobile money pin as well, and he took their money. And he was upset that I gave my mobile money pin to the robbers. And I told them, what could I have done? Because there was a gun to my head. There was nothing I could have done to prevent this. Okay, he gave us the phone to go. We will come there. There's nobody. We will come there. Something like this has never happened to me before. In fact, it has never happened to both of us before. We were shocked. And so we went to the hospital. When we were going to the hospital, we didn't even have a CD on us. There was nothing on us, but we had to go, and then we went, and everything was okay with us. They dressed his wound. In the process of they pushing him to the floor, he got bruises on his knee. They dressed it, and we came back. And
how were you? You were pregnant at the time.
Yes. During the day in the morning, I'd even forgotten I was pregnant. I didn't even remember I was carrying a baby. So it was in the process that my mother and my in-law came. We were like, you need to go to the hospital to be checked. And so we got there, and then fortunately everything was okay. They could hear the heartbeat of the baby, and I was okay. But the aftermath has been crazy. Like, whenever I turn on the shower, I hear the sound of gunshots. Yeah, that bad. And then whenever it's 1 a.m., I wake up. I can't sleep, and I feel there's somebody looking at me. Yeah, and I have a phobia for guys on motorbike in black, and with the helmet is worse. It's scary, The thing about robbery is that it takes something out of you, and it leaves a scar. A scar that it takes a while for you to deal with it. Yes, people would say, oh, it's normal, they won't come back. But we have neighbors that they've been attacked 3 times, 4 times, and people have left the area. They are renting their houses for so cheap because you are not safe. 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 2 guys on motorbike, they look at you, they pull a gun at you, take your money, and the police hasn't done anything. It's so frustrating.
But you left the area in the end.
We've left the property and no one is in it. It's empty. But I'm not interested in the place, because even where I am now, I can't sleep. When it's 1 a.m., I wake up and then I'm looking around who is looking at me, and I can't. If the police had been there, I would have known that no matter the security I put in place, if someone is able to enter and you call the police, the police can get there on time to save you. Yes. But this is the case that the police hasn't been there. Even one house, they were able to take champagne from the fridge of the person and displayed it and open it because they know the police won't come. Something that I've always been willing to say, and I'll say it today. After I'd made the call to the police with my tablet, I heard from one house, the robbers screw me. Who were you call the police? You know, talk we go kill you. But I don't know whether it was my call. I can't confirm because my neighbors too had called. And they were asking, who were call the police? As to whether when they were entering the house, they heard them talking on the phone, I don't know, or whether it was my call. And we found some of the pellets around. And if you trace it, it's the pellets I hear the police use. I don't know whether that's what they use, but that's what we heard. And we didn't give it to them, it's with us. So, you're waiting on God. You do what you can do, and God protects you. Yeah.
So that's a harrowing story of a pregnant woman at the time who was attacked by armed robbers at Hallelujah at Beseliche. Till we speak, the police is yet to deal with the case and many others that have happened in the area. We tried to speak to the police today and they were not able to speak to us on the issue. The question is, why should residents of an area which is not so far from a police post be neglected in a situation like this? These are the questions we are asking today. The issue about armed robbers in the area, issue about land guards still not being dealt with weeks and months after it was reported by residents of that area. The question is also that would you be able to cope with the issue of armed robbery if it affects you? You'll never know until it happens to you. The residents here are asking for one thing, protection and protection from police officers. We wait to see on what will happen. But us at Citi Newsroom will ensure what is supposed to be done is done. So this is the MF's police station. Here, residents make reports of these incidents of armed robbery or land guards to this police station every day. We tried to speak to officials at this police station, but it proved futile to answer questions on what is happening and what measures they put in place to protect residents here at Gechile. But officials here tell us they are able to respond to our issues.
Vivian, it must have been very sad listening to those stories.
Very sad. I've still not recovered from the stories I've heard, especially the 7-month pregnant lady at the time. What happened to her? And they didn't care. And if you listen to the stories, I don't want to make any allegations of these criminals working with the police or anything, but the stories you hear from the residents presupposes that there is some amount of interaction among the two groups during the time this happens.
So the robbers know at what time they can operate, within what period, and they knew that no policeman would come.
Because if you go to a place and you're going to rob somebody, you do it within swiftly. Some amount of time. But why would you take champagne, sit down, relax, and then do what you have to do, and then move on? It shows the response rate is very low, and the likelihood of the police or any security person coming there is zero.
It's such a sad situation for residents of Gechile, and I feel pathetic for them. The landmark, the land guards are not giving them a peace, and now the robbers, and they do this in the full glare of everybody, and they are not even afraid. It's such a sad situation.
Such a sad one.
And the police hierarchy, unfortunately, they didn't speak to you.
They said they were in a meeting, and they didn't know when it will end. So we even called
regional police.
Yes, we even called other PRs from other commands to get through to them, but the same response. So we're not going to leave it there. We're still going to push this, because if you look at the area, most of the houses you see it's a sprawling place. Most people have left because of this. So they got their properties. Now they have to go and rent elsewhere, and abandoned properties they put up with their own money because they're afraid of their lives.
It's a sad situation. Well, you're still watching Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. I am Umaru, Sanda, Amadu, and
Vivian, Lokko.
When we come back, President Akufo-Addo described the death of the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wogon, Umaru, as a big blow to the party NPP.
regular news checks as they unfold. 2020 news, all day, all the time. Politics, sports, entertainment, business, and more.
And that's all for 2020 news on Citi TV. All the news in 20 minutes.
We spice up your mornings with culturally enriched conversations, social interviews, and policy-oriented discussions that will keep you updated on the progress of the nation.
Those security guys who were supposed to protect them, I'm sure by now somebody must have all of them arrested. They must all be arrested because it's an unprovoked attack.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Let your voice be heard with the hashtag Breakfast Daily. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.
Welcome back. Now, a number of NPP sympathizers, led by the President, Amadu earlier today, commiserated with the family of the late Ayawaso West Wogon Member of Parliament, Umaru, leading the delegation, including Ministers of State, Chairman of the NPP, and other executives of the party. The delegation shared in the grief of the bereaved family. There is more in this report.
Prior to his death, Honorable Tramantine Jakun was the MP for the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency. He was a regular panelist on Citi TV's morning show, The Breakfast Daily. Joining the show for a conversation on the audit service in Ghana was his last moments with the station.
I am happy. I am happy because at least this is a clear indication that democracy is taking roots in this country. If a man feels his work is being interfered with, he has the capacity to raise the alarm and say, the Constitution permits me to do this. People are interfering with my work. The dark days where there was a culture of silence and nobody could say anything is over. Our democracy is beginning to express itself appropriately. I will not be able to sit here and say my very good friend, my very dear friend, Mr. Domelevo is right, or that the board chairman.
The broken family friends, NPP members and sympathizers thronged the Airport Hill residence of the late legislator, hoping the news of his death was false. The confirmation from the family, however, resulted in many shedding uncontrollable tears, despite consolation from other persons present. For most of them, they had lost a significant figure in their lives. The president led a delegation including the Minister of Trade and Industry, Chairman of the NPP, and other dignitaries to express their condolence to the bereaved family. Speaking on behalf of the delegation, organizer of the NPP, Samuel Ewuku, stated that the death of Emmanuel Tramantine Ejakun is a great loss to the governing New Patriotic Party.
His father's era, Honorable Ejakun's father, was part of the foundation and the founder members of the UP. Through it all, together with his family, they've stayed true to the Dankwa Dombo Buzia tradition. Mr. President, the national chairman, conclude that this is our own. And we've lost a very great asset. For him, as a president, he's lost one of his strongest members of parliament. For us as a party, we've lost one of our strongest members of parliament and also one of our pillars.
The sadness of the sympathizers was heightened when the children of the deceased took turn to greet the president. The family promised to collaborate with the presidency in finalizing the funeral arrangements. For the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency chapter of the NPP, the late member of parliament is irreplaceable.
Passionate person about what he does. He puts in a lot of energy in anything he does. I would also be, he has this infectious smile he normally always puts on no matter the situation. As a leader within the constituency, he galvanized the rank and file of the party, and it's a loss. It's a loss. Everybody has their style, and I believe that as a party would never get another Emmanuel Chamatin Ejako.
It's a sad mood here at the Airport Hill residence of the former legislator who passed away yesterday. The family say it's yet to sit down to do its own funeral arrangements, and it will have correspondence with the presidency and the New Patriotic Party to look at how they can give a befitting farewell to him. Reporting for Citi News, Hansen Ajiman.
Let's remain with that story and statements of condolences coming through. This one from former President John Dramani Mahama, issued and signed by Head Special Aide Joyce Bao Mukhtar. And he says, I received news of the Honorable Emmanuel Chamatin Ejako's death with great shock last night. The very kind words in the tributes being paid to him accurately reflect the kind of person he was. Politics may divide us on ideological lines and during debates and arguments, but Emmanuel Ejako's personality and his conduct, even in the political space, always exemplified the gentleman that he was. Lordina and I join grieving Ghanaians in expressing our condolences to the wife, children, family, and the New Patriotic Party on his loss. So that's a statement from former President John Dramani Mahama.
You know, members of parliament have still not recovered from the shock associated with the loss of their colleague Emmanuel Ejako. Citi News' Duke Mensa Opoku has been speaking to MPs about the loss and also joined the parliamentary delegation to visit the bereaved family.
Just a few minutes to 10:30 in the morning in Parliament, and the mood is very, very somber and solemn. Obviously, members of Parliament have been hit hard by the loss of their colleague, Emmanuel Chamatin Ejako, Member of Parliament for the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency, who's also chairman of the Environment, Science and Technology Committee of the House. He's been in Parliament since 2013, and his colleagues have been telling me how they feel about his passing.
In this moment, it's very sad, it's very difficult for me to say who the Honorable Ejako was to me. We shared a lot of secrets, we do a lot of things together, we put our politics beside, and we see ourselves more like a family. Sometimes he could drive me around Accra 4 hours. I'll be in his car. When it comes to Parliament in the morning, I was one of the first few people he would call. Have you had breakfast? Can we do this? He used to advise me a lot on how to be conscious of my health and what I need to do.
The Honorable Ejako, I must say he was a very selfless man, very humble, very open. I mean, he laughs with everybody in Parliament. I quite remember when I came to Parliament, he was one of the first people who actually sat me down and advised me. And one of such advice has to do with the fact that I remember very well, because he said, do not let this position get into your head, because then you will lose focus. And he was somebody who really loved music, to be honest with you. He really loved music. Anytime we go for programs and they are, you know, it's between us, almost every time you see him dancing to a tune.
I was so shocked when I heard the news. But when I was told he died in US, I realized, okay, maybe that was why. But we met at the U.S. Embassy. He was securing visas for the children and told me that they were going on break. So when Parliament called us the emergency recess, he asked me whether I was able to go. And I said, no, I'll be doing that during the Christmas. Then he said, oh, he had gone with the family and returned. And said, oh, it will be good that and I take the trip. And I said, okay.
Great guy. Everybody would have fond memories of him. He was collegial. He would have a nice chat with you. Very nice person, affable, humble, down to earth, and we'll miss him a lot. For me, he really liked me. He would come to my house in Koforidia. I've been to his home, Airport Hills, wherever. We've had good times together, and his intellectual capacity, very, very deep guy.
So not really one of the best of days in the house, as the whole house is thrown into a state of mourning for one of their departed colleagues. And as is convention in the house, a delegation from Parliament would go and visit the family to commiserate with them, in this first instance, to assuage the pain that is associated with their loss.
And knowing him particularly, that he loves life and enjoys the use of it, it would not have been his wish to be kept on life support, just hanging in there for whatever God knows what. So, Tuesday, today is what, Thursday? Tuesday midnight, the situation started unraveling very quickly. Stabilized, then it unravels again for the whole of Tuesday. The Wednesday at dawn is when he suffered a consistent decline. At one point, there was really nothing medicine could do. If anything had to be, that was going to be done, it was his own creator intervening, saying, Talita Kumi.
That's it. As you've said already. When God decided to start, whichever brilliant medical you have must be sufficient. I'm sure. Whatever it required for human beings to sustain him, you and your family are sufficient and competent. And I'm sure if it came to the nation giving it support, you will not have lacked anything. But when God decides that our time is over, none of us can stop. That's it.
Very sad, isn't it?
It is. Honorable Jacko is one man I've known when I was hosting The Big Issue, full of life, very animated sometimes, had a loud voice, a happy person.
Yeah.
And watching him on Breakfast Daily every day, this was like a very active, happy man.
Mm-hmm.
When the news came through last night, I thought it was a kind of a joke.
Yeah.
You know, when our correspondents put it through, we said, no, you have to check this and be sure. And then it dawned on me that it's really true. And I'm like, wow. Life is not a companion.
No, it's not. And he was so full of life. I'd been to a couple of places where he was, and he loved to dance. He was really full of life.
Yeah,
and may his soul rest in peace.
May his soul rest in peace.
Let's move on to some other stories. And some fisher folk at Birim, a fishing community in the Infantiman constituency, were engaged in a scuffle over the distribution of premixed fuel for the community. The fishermen, numbering about 50, were heckling each other in a bid to get access to the premixed fuel, which has not been forthcoming for over a month now.
Now, some fishermen who spoke to Citi News explained that due to the scarcity of the premixed fuel, they resort to diesel, which damages their engines.
Benjamin Esuman, the premix secretary for Priwa, indicated that the 13,500 liters, which is equivalent to 3,000 gallons, given to them by the government is not adequate, explaining that this is what has caused the scuffle between the fisher folks. He added that 27,000 liters of premixed fuel would be adequate for the fisher folks to actively engage in their fishing activities. Kojo Eso, the chief fisherman, expressed his frustration and threatened to stage a demonstration against the government for the delays in supplying the fuel. However, the municipal chief executive from Fanteman, Kenneth Isuman, indicated that there are plans to increase the supply of the premixed fuel.
That in my municipality, I have 11 landing beaches. 11 landing beaches, including Salt Pond. And every other week, the landing beaches receive supply of premix. They take delivery of premix. So it means that every landing beach receives 2 loads of premix in a month. And so like I said, we are praying for the day that premix will be supplied to all landing beaches every week of the month.
He further added that the regularization of the premixed fuel is what is causing the scarcity in the supply.
The premix has been in the system. Our fisher folks get the premix. It is not in short supply. The challenge we have here is regularity.
Now, the government's vision of increasing access to senior high school education may be in jeopardy as more and more parents across the country are found to still be paying for access for their wards. 1 in every 3 people in Ghana who interact with the education sector say they have to engage in one corrupt activity or the other.
Now, the health sector is not left out, as people say they are compelled to bribe their way to accessing basic services. These are findings contained in a corruption impact assessment on education and health in Ghana. There's more in this report.
The survey, conducted by the Ghana Integrity Initiative Consortium among 5,000 respondents, sampled from 49 districts across the country, revealed an alarming 94% of the respondents in the Ashanti region alone, saying they had to bribe for various services within the education sector. These ranged from buying examination questions, school grades, and certificates. More than half of the respondents from each of the districts surveyed in Ashanti region admitted to paying bribes to access education services. The computerized school selection and placement system has been particularly found to be a source of corruption, as more parents are found paying for services. Country Director for Send Ghana, a member of the consortium, George Osei-Bimpe, spoke to Citi News about the findings.
In the health and education sector, so that lends itself to acts of corruption. So, for example, if you look at the way we are admitting students into schools, there is a problem with that, especially in the case of the school selection and placement system, whereby people have been found to be manipulating the system. So that's an area that government needs to pay attention to.
But President of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, Philippa Larson, says only an equitable distribution of resources to schools can curb corruption at the school level.
I'm surprised at the recent findings because we have no evidence that these are issues that have come out. Now, over the years, we have advocated for a lot of things. And like I raised there, why would people have to pay bribes to get admissions into some schools? The first thing we have to do is to look at the equitable distribution of resources to all schools. Because if I have a school in my village, we have all the resources available. I don't see why I'll have to travel to another area to access admission. Then we see that our population is increasingly growing, and so there is the need for the education ministry to expand the facilities available in all the schools, so that once there are vacancies, nobody will have to pay anything. The schools will be able to absorb all the students.
The Citizen Movement Against Corruption, CIMAC, however, believes combating corruption generally will require a concerted citizen action. Edem Senanu is the executive director of CIMAC.
The Ghanaian citizen ought to be more responsible and active in terms of looking at the issues of corruption and confronting it. We kind of feel like we are neutral parties. It involves the politicians, the technocrats. It doesn't involve us. But all the data that has come out, including this education and health sector survey, tells us that it's about all of us. And we need to look at the issues of our integrity, our accountability, our values, our ethics. It needs to start from the home. It needs to look at what is happening in the family, in the school, in the community, in social and religious gatherings. How are we modeling integrity, transparency, and accountability?
Public sector corruption is a growing concern, with the country being ranked the 81st least corrupt nation out of 175 countries under the 2017 Corruption Perception Index reported by Transparency International. But with the attack on basic necessities, education and health, will government and civil society promptly act to curtail the practice?
And that's it for today's edition of Citi Newsroom. Log on to our website, citinewsroom.com, for more stories. My name is Vivian Lokko.
And I am Umaru Sanda. Thank you for watching.
Technology, innovation and entrepreneurship offer opportunities for growth and job creation. Under the distinguished patronage of the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center presents the 17th edition of the Ghana Club 100 Awards. This prestigious event to honor 100 companies blazing a trail in their respective industries will be held at the Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, on Friday, the 23rd of November, 2018 at 6 p.m. Sponsors: Olam Ghana, GCNet, M&G Pharmaceuticals, Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Imexo, Ghana, Newmont, Goyle, MTN, Casabrec, and ADL. Media sponsors: Radio Gold, Omnimedia, Daily Graphic, Ghanaian Times, Gold Street Business, Multimedia, and GBC. Limited tickets are available. Contact the GIPC head office on 0544 332 086 or 0244 318 252 or via email at ebaja@gipcghana.com. Ghana Club 100, celebrating Ghana's business leaders.
Hi everybody, my name is Lydia Forson. Join me on the Hall of Fame with AJ this Saturday at 5 p.m. on Citi TV.
Hello there, good evening, and welcome to another exciting edition of Sister Sister. We're thrilled to be back on your favorite station. Yes, this is 97.3 Citi FM and, of course, Citi TV as well. And if